Shamanti does sound better.
It does.
Yeah, Shamanti really flows, whereas
Shamanko says,
Shamanko.
like, you know,
Shamanko and Michael
give a Smurf a disease and you got a Shamanko.
It sounds kind of Jewish, like it kind of goes with the heritage a little.
Could be Yiddish. Let me check my Yiddish and see where Shamanko comes from. Good way to start. That's what I like. Clearing of the vibration with some good laughter.
Oh my goodness. But Willow and Jackson don't call me Shamanti. They're like, honey.
I know. I'm like, have some respect.
Shamanti.
This is your aunt and uncle in spirit, don't you know?
Yeah.
Your full aunt and uncle.
But I feel what is Michael and I talking? I feel like this feeling that Jackson and Willow have towards us, like they literally like they kind of like, yeah, they're like buds. Like you know, like I just can't, yeah, honey, Michael, like just it's just so is.
Just know you.
Yeah, like you know, two peas in a pod. Like, come on over here.
Yeah,
I'll show my friends. I'll wrestle them. Watch this. You know, come on over here.
Yeah. Remember the last time you came over, Jackson didn't even say hi to you. He was like, let's wrestle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, that's how he said hello. I was like, why don't you say hi?
Watch my friends. Watch me take him down.
Yeah.
The people's elbow. Okay.
But you know, I have to tell you.
The rock is cooking though.
When Nicholas speaks, her son Mateo is the same. Honey, Michael, like just it's exactly the same because we just meet each other in that place.
Two little kids.
It's so precious, you know.
Yeah.
Love it.
Children, especially like lit children, not to be like, well, my kids are lit, but my kids are lit. Are so like they have such a way of like teaching you to be back in your space, like in your like divine space or your heart space, because they're so pure in it, you know, and they just pull you right there, and it's really cool. And I'm sure they recognize it in you guys, you know, and they're like,
right there. Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready to rock.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. Lots of people are popping on saying hi.
Hi everyone.
So, hi everyone. I'm here with Ascension Alchemists, HoniB and Michael Abramson, and I've interviewed both of them here in multidimensional living before separately.
Yeah.
But after all this time, it's the first time together.
Woohoo!
Because stuff has happened. Like you got sick one time, or I don't know, like different things happened, and it was just, this is how it worked out. So here we are.
And I'm so grateful you were able to create this space, Gia, even you're, you know, in the middle of your deliciousness. But like this week, this third week of the Magdalene month, you know, as you know, there's been so much focus on the Magdalene energy of this month, and particularly Wednesday's ceremony.
Yeah.
And you're with us a lot, especially as I'm preparing everything for the ceremony, because you took part in the ceremony last year.
I have her right here with me.
That's right.
I work with her. I would keep her out all the time. I keep her out to have her next week.
So the energy this week is really, really pulling it together, and I'm just so grateful you were able to make it, just make this available. It is a special week.
It's my day off, so
Thank you.
I didn't really make the things like I'm doing it.
It's our day off too, by the way. Monday is our day off.
Right? Is it your day off too?
Yeah,
I don't like to work on Monday. Like I don't feel like it's a good work day.
No.
I wanted to sleep all day.
It doesn't resonate for work for me. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna opt out.
You know, when I had my center, Gia, the very first day that I made permanently closed was Monday.
Yeah.
And then it was actually on Friday. I'm like, nope, these two are very sacred days. No, we were working, you know?
I do work on Fridays, but I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I work on Sundays, so I'm off on Saturdays and Mondays.
There you go.
Oh, it seems fine. Oh, look, people are talking. So Caitlin's talking about Valeria. He is here. Miriam's here.
Hi, sweetie.
Caitlin says thank you.
On Wednesday.
And okay, we're good. Everyone's just chatting and sharing love. Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin. So much love.
Sweet people. So Caitlin and I met at the Magdalene ceremony last year.
That's right.
Man, I think that was the most powerful ceremony I've ever attended, or like thing I've done. For whatever reason, there was just something so palpable and so powerful that day. It was like overwhelming, like we were overcome by it. Hi Terry. And it was just beautiful. I mean, it was really transformational. There was something very empowering, something really shifting about it. Like I just felt like I released so much and then got so much back, It was really beautiful.
I was so honored you took part, and especially because, I've been a facilitator of ceremonies for several years, Gia, and, the ceremonies, for me, a ceremony is really several layers of conscious awareness that you tap into from the time that you decide you want to take part, from the preparation you have to do. Like even this one we are having on Wednesday, even it's on Zoom, there's quite a bit of preparation, including myself, all that I am receiving directly from Mary Magdalene to bring it in. So I don't, again, as always, it's not about whoever else is doing. I know what I am to bring forward with the group energy, and it's very clearly communicated by her, especially where we're located here in Washington DC. Last year was very emphasized on clearing the shame out of our field, out of our consciousness. That's why it's so transformational, because that shame energy, so many of us in our soul charts, and especially so more, I'm still carrying those. But I really feel, out of the amount of ceremonies I have personally facilitated, I have to say last year's Magdalene ceremony, that one,
something about
by
it,
far the most sacred. And the one before that is the one for the summer solstice that was with the Yeshua Magdalene ceremony together. We did, like, these are, I mean, they're all so life transformative, even the one before that, but this one particularly was so, because the tears of it, first the clearing, then accepting, then the anointing, and then from there, because I want to let you then share. From there, then being activated, really activated in this rose frequency on the planet, and then from the receive the giving yourself to have the permission to forgive the masculine, so the sacred masculine, because for so many years I've still been a witness to many of my sisters carrying, including myself, that was this hurt from the masculine, from the unawoken masculine, from the masculine that had created so much hurt, and it's so much the debris in there. So last year was so monumental, and I felt for 2019 it was, and this year is at a whole different level what I'm going to be facilitating. And for a small group on Zoom, and Michael will take part, as well as Fidel, the only male. It's open to men too, but there are not enough men that want to own their Magdalene to step forward, So thank you for that. I know the amount of tears you and I shared.
Oh my God, dude.
Like pooling.
I was like weeping, like all the way, first of all the way there, like the whole trip there, the whole drive.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I pulled it together just to like get inside. So like I was fine. I was like, okay, I'm good. Maybe I purged it all.
Until we started talking with the rose.
That was like the appetizer. Then I like opened the door and saw Michael and was like, I just started like crying again.
Well, it was so beautiful.
And washing your hands and feet too.
I think that was the most beautiful element, and just being honored myself to really hold that sacred space as the sacred divine masculine, and really feel that love between the Magdalene sisters. Like it was really interesting to see, for me to sit in a ceremony where you really feel the mother's love, the creation's love, the feminine love, and so like connected in ways where I really never had that opportunity to just watch and feel and see that being connected, and then to have that love be blessed in a way that, to me, one of my favorite parts, and there's many favorite parts, but when Honey was washing the feet.
Caitlin just wrote the washing of the feet was my favorite, like right as Michael said that.
Like it was such a purity process, you know, that like allowed the opportunity to really give an individual to feel like they were being, you know, taken care of, the feeling that they were taken.
But it was it was like the real baptism in this way, you know, that Magdalene had.
And to have the holy water that I got from Mount St. Mary's, from the grot, and to bring that down, and just to see the love that was brought forward, and the expression of everyone just to release what was happening, especially when that opportunity came around where I was holding that space to ask for forgiveness, and then to receive that forgiveness. I mean, I don't know if it's a year later and I'm still like, it's coming up and I'm feeling the energies come forward, but I was wiped out that day after of like meeting each individual, and then just recognizing just the magical mysticism of what it is to be in that Magdalene sacred space and feel that energy, and each and every one just ignite that their own hearts were there to express its fullest love, and to watch that, feel that, and experience it is, it's hard to explain. I mean, we could say it, but there's words that can't quite, you know, can't capture it. But it was such a blessing to be a part of, and I look forward to this week, because I know the energies are perfect timing to build up to really voice what we are here to express right now. And
I mean, I think about since then too, like the shifts that have happened. I mean, not obviously in the collective, but like just personally, and the things that, you know, there's this sort of personal transformation as you're like bringing that Magdalene energy up and really anchoring it and really owning it. And I feel like I really did shift out of this, like, it wasn't just like, oh, and then I went home and that's what it was. I mean, it's been like a year, it's taken a lot of time, but like, I really feel like I shifted out of that low, like, fuck the patriarch, like down with the man, like, that energy to like a compassionate energy.
Women in Christ.
Yeah, and I feel like, so like one part of what was so hard for a lot of us to let go of with that is like, I think we're so afraid to go into our heart space where we're forgiving or we're compassionate or loving or whatever it may be, because then we're afraid, oh, now we're going to get taken advantage of. Like now we're going to go back into that space, like that victim space, if we open up. So it was like, I think a lot of us, a lot of women or with that history feel like they have to either be like rage against patriarch or victim, you know, and it's like, it was finding that space in between there of that open heartedness, that compassion, but also strength, and you know, like a higher strength, you know,
and being very comfortable with, which I feel you're saying, is that feeling of being safe in that vulnerability, because in that place of vulnerability, there's that natural love of wanting to protect it because it's been violated, but in that vulnerability, to feel the beautiful softness and compassion of that raw, real, tender space, which is a gift, that gift to fully be the truest of our Magdalene hearts. And when we're in that space together, it feels so united, connected in a way that takes us to such a high dimension. I mean,
Magdalene frequency is a crystal clear, true, divine, empowered state. And it is, the compassion of it is tremendous. And it is not empathy, it is not sympathy. So, because those will come from victimization, and, you know, there's a lot of that. The compassion really is a supreme level of highest divine power of love you can tap into, and to literally stand in it, to be towered in it. So the Magdalene Tower that was created in Rennes-le-Château in south of France, in her town, the tower represents how she was able to tower. Yeshua always spoke about her presence towered in the light, in its crystal light, in its clarity, in its crystalline. It is a diamond frequency. It completely encloses all the gifts within it. It's an enriched state. So as a result of it, it is the rise of a true resurrection. So for example, the ceremony of last year, you were out of, I think there were 27 participants, Gia. Everybody experienced life transformation through this, because it's very difficult to come into a frequency of a Magdalene ceremony. Like, for example, let's say in my case, I'm one of several that is initiated, not in this plane, in the other plane, to bring the Magdalene frequency, and in the ceremonial way. So it's so sacred, it's so clean. You too got to experience it with the others. You get to experience how clean the vibration is. So you can relax in its love. And it's the love that gives you the power to come with your vulnerable state, with the true essence of you are, to give voice and power to it, to be able to wash, like we did, the shames and the embarrassment, to then invite that power of love, and to then have it be a living vibration in action on earth, not hiding behind the scenes, right here, very much like even if you're in a grocery store, even you're in, let's say, interacting with somebody, and it is very clear state. So, I had ran so many red tent goddess circles for years, and some basis is that, but the frequency of Magdalene is completely different, I feel, because it doesn't tie, for me, as you know, it doesn't tie into the moons, it doesn't tie to any of that. It ties to source light, and it's the alchemized state. So there's a lot when I'm sitting in it, like when I'm preparing, for example, it takes several days. I keep going back in meditation. I call her in. She shows me exactly what to take the individuals into, what to do. So that's where I'm getting the guidance and take you guys through the experience. And it is life transformative. And I myself, I'm transformed as the result of it. And come out, speak so boldly with very heart-wrenching things to wash, to wash anything that needs to be washed out of the way. And I thank both of you for experiencing it, the ones like Caitlin, Daniel, several others that experienced it, and the ones that will be experiencing it very differently this Wednesday.
I feel like Magdalene's been around for, at least in I was newer in the last, 5 years to all of this. But I remember, you probably don't remember this conversation, but I remember one time saying to you, does it make sense to you that I would feel like every time I do any kind of prayer invocation that I would need to call Mary Magdalene? I was like, does that make any sense? Why do I always feel like I need to say that? And you were like, ma ha ha ha. You were like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't get it at all. Can you explain it to me?
I'm telling you.
Just have to say it every day. And you were like, yeah, Magdalene is very, very present. And this was a couple of years ago. I would say at least 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we had this conversation.
Her energy on the planet, really, because we had to end 12, 21, 12. That cycle had to end to start then the next 125,000 years, the next 36,000 years, the next 2,500 years, those cycles coming up. And so the Magdalene frequency on the planet 2012 was like a time release capsule where many of us who carried the Magdalene frequency, and there were different levels, the ones that were the forefront, the ones that were then coming, then the ones that were other, there are different levels of the carriers. And what the roles was on the planet between the grid systems and working with the rose line, working with also the dragon line and the dragon rose line, and bringing these together. So there were some first wave of us, like me, like Stellar, like Valerie tomorrow, that we had to be on the land, you know. Mine, as you know, was 5 years in just opening up the trachea, the breath of the grid lines of Gaia, so her voice, her breath can start to come in through the codes. So I was assigned to the third grid system to start bringing the presence of the crystal's light through, and some of us had to pave that way first. Then the other ones started going through their activation, like around 2015 awakening, you know, to start, oh my God, something's happening here, to start then doing their part with their healings and spreading it and tuning into the Yeshua frequency, Magdalene frequency, you know, so that they can start to where they are positioned. They can start to be the anchors there. Then there was the next wave. So it's been several waves, and many more coming in. That again, time release capsule, where the Magdalene consciousness as a soul chart, literally, or like an imprint, activated to be the carrier. So that's where within this time frame, there's been a lot of, like, let's say, life changes, you know, from jobs, from relationships, from family. That's part of the ascension anyway. But a lot of the Magdalenes having to reclaim their divine, sacred, feminine power. And a lot of the Magdalene is the divine mother energy combination, pulling it in. So layers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. And those are my dates, 2012 and 2015. Two of my dates were things, of course, most of us, right? Where things sort of like took off.
We have had to do this because then the ones in the male incarnate that were, then we had to go through this to then be the containers. So then the next wave would be the male incarnates that are now have to bring the Magdalene voice through them. And that's finally between this 2019, 2020, they have no choice. So that's been a lot behind Michael's, like, hey,
right,
come on, your turn, you know?
I do feel like the men have been starting to rise so much more. And then, you know, a lot of us are having little boys.
Yes.
A lot of us are bringing in, you know, high frequency boys.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So, you know, it's interesting to see that wave coming. So I don't know if you can hear my little Magdalene.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yeah, and it's perfect timing when you really look at all the ways, because, you know, in these past 5 years, we've been really looking at even just, you know, when we look at the rise of the feminine consciousness, when we look at the golden age, when we look at shifting from 3D to 5D, we are shifting into divine love, living from the compassion of our hearts. And I feel right now what I'm excited about, what many are excited about, is this sacred divine feminine, which is in both women and men, is that voice and expression.
And transgenders, and non-binaries, and all of that.
And all beings. And all beings, that energy is within us. And I feel that gift to express that from our state of love, state of kindness, state of compassion, state of beingness, where we're bringing that joy and bringing that feeling that this is the time to express it, because this is where we're moving to. This is where we're going. And, you know, we see that shift, that alchemy of moving from fear into love. And I find what has been great, and even working with, you know, a lot of men recently, is really listening to their hearts and having their hearts be expressed, so that not only men can hear that, but women can hear that too, to help the forgiveness of all the anger and all the pain that's within there, because we're both rising. At the same time, that old masculine, it's been here for thousands of years, it's suppressed it and really been so excess within all genders, is now being, it's really being aligned with the feminine energies that are bringing divine alignment together. And I find that's great when we can see that being expressed in our Magdalene voice, that expression of love, that expression of choosing that, versus a lot of the old paradigms of just thinking it.
Well, I feel the key distinction here is, I think of this. You know how when you go to the bank, they always have that sign, FDIC insured, backed up, like what it's backed up.
Yeah.
So this thing which we're talking to, it's backed up by divine love, divine presence, divine voice, divine truth. It is not the human love. It is not the human compassion. It is none of that, because it can't deliver the alchemized state. The alchemized state is when you have arisen from the human limitation into your divine essence, into your I am presence, and you're bringing that presence into this consciousness. You see what I mean? And I feel many individuals, that's why it comes in, they may say it, but it's not anchored into their template, because it hasn't yet become an actual experience to be deepened and as an activated true state of beingness.
Embodiment.
And it is an embodiment. That's what that alchemized state is. So, and there are multiple layers of it. For example, the physical body is one, then the emotional body is one, the mental body, the etheric body, the spiritual body. All of these bodies have to merge in its oneness, so that the crystal light is the light that is emanating, from its presence, and it is backed up by that presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's really crucial right now, because of everything that's going on in the world. I mean, that we have this sovereignty. I mean, I know I've said this word to death this year, but it's such a focus. It's so important, because there's so much going on, and there isn't that what we're shifting away from, I feel like, is being that, FDIC insured, right, world. Like, none of that, like, on any level. It's all fading or crumbling or dissolving or transmuting, or however you want to think about it.
It is backed up by the highest power of that is, which is you.
Yeah. And we're
outside of this matrix that's define who you are.
Right. So it's like that was our anchor, or that was our groundedness before.
Yeah.
Unplugging, right? Yep. A lot of us, right? And then those of us who aren't unplugging on purpose, the matrix itself is sort of imploding. So then people are getting unplugged, whether they, consciously ask for it, or they just planned to come here at this time and let it happen to them. But either way, right, that's happening now so much more prevalently. And so it's like everyone has to like step back then and check of what is my backup, and like what am I connected to?
Exactly.
And how do I know the truth? Because that's what's so elusive right now, is the truth, right? And clarity.
And with that truth, because when you plug it into source, light is one truth. I remember it was 6 years ago when I was in London, GAIA, for the New Humanity Conference. There were 24 of us as the speakers there that we were speaking, and that was my first time in Europe, being a public spokesperson. That I am an Arcturian starseed. I've been on the Athena mothership and talking about the planetary work. And one of the workshops that I led in London was the Arcturian chakra technology, where they had shown me how individuals are so plugged into each other they don't even know. And they showed me how to unplug from each other and plug straight to source light. And it was literally like a golden cable, very much that if you say like the cable you have on your iPhone, you plug it into there. But what was amazing is that when I would have individuals do that, they were so scared to plug from their child or from their unplug from their child or their mother or father or spouse, because they are so heavily attached from the consciousness of the matrix, where it says, here was the Arcturian had shown the technology that is here to liberate you in your divine sovereignty. Here, you unplug this, plug the golden cable to source, boom. And but it was amazing to be a witness to that. And I feel more and more people are becoming consciously aware of these ties, because it is the human attachment conditioning that does not allow them to experience the divine sovereignty.
And a lot of those are being, like you said, Gia, it's amazing because with this matrix, everything is crumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
And all the old beliefs and all the old areas are dissolving now. And I feel the key is when that dissolves within us as well, it strips us to where we are naturally showing. That's our light within. And I find as we see all over, more people are waking up, more people are being, she would say, lit up, because it's like there's no other choice. When you strip it all down, there's the trueness of yourself, and we can't hide anymore, because you can't hide anymore. I mean, it's like all the layers we protected ourselves, as they keep crumbling down, we can try to hold, we can try to protect, but the ones that are awakening, we're seeing right through it. And now our journey is to stay in that love and compassion as the rest of the world's going through what it is, and staying in that high vibration, because in that high vibration, I know you're feeling it, I know Honey's feeling it, I know I'm feeling it. We're even connecting deeper into the divine, into all the veils that are becoming seen literally. And that's the joy of what's happening, because I feel like as it's becoming clearer and clearer, it gives us more, beautiful connection to what's already there.
I was muted for a second because of Willow screaming so much in the background. So
it's okay. She feels us. She feels us.
And, that's the thing with the little ones, like, that you have, they're so crystal clear. So you have no choice. You are seen completely in their presence. And so you have no choice but to align to their frequency. You get knocked around left and right if you're not, That's because they are even more light.
She's very strong, you know her. And I feel like there's been a shift since us finding out that we're having a boy. I think there's something about like it becoming more real, that there's like another baby coming. And she also really, really wanted a sister. Like she was like verbally angry about it, like when she found out. So of course. She was like, no, I'm not having a brother. Like that's what she's telling people. Yeah. Sorry, that's not happening here.
I left you a voice message. I was like, holy Willow.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it'll be good. She'll realize she's the only girl and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But ever since then, she's been having these, periods of time where she just like screams. Like she's really fired up right now. And it's been going on for a couple weeks. And
interesting. My brother said the same. He's like, honey, it's non-stop, Lila, non-stop screaming. It's outrageous screaming. They must be feeling something even greater.
Right? There's something going on. She's like, because I mean, she's always strong. She's always outspoken. But this is like another level going on. And Eric, her mantra to Eric is go away. Like, so she screams go away in his face and like points to where she wants him to go at like the top of her lungs, like that's her mantra to him. For me, she wants me around, like she's cool with me like witnessing and being there, but she wants to still be able to like do the screaming, which is fine. Like I hold that space, but this has been going on for quite some time. He's texting me now.
Yeah, I hear you. Don't worry. Listen, it's us. We know.
I told him he could bring her up if he thought it would. If you think it will help.
No, it's. I mean, I don't know.
It could be also her knowing that her energy is probably somewhere in the house.
No, I mean, I feel this. You know what it is? Yeah, honestly, they pick up a lot. Like my brother messaged, he's like, honey, oh my God, honey, like it's 2 weeks she hasn't stopped screaming. It's like
It has been like 2 weeks.
Non-stop. He says 2 weeks. I said, I was like, they're very sensitive. I mean, they really feel things on the animal level, on the crystal level, on the humanity level. These ones are free. And you know what? More power to them that they get to freaking scream, release it. Because you know what? What are we dealing with? I can't breathe. For freaking sake, there's all these masks covering people, not letting them breathe. So they're feeling it. They can't be on the playground, all of this. They've got to, and there are all of these things that are being planned for what the fall school year is going to be. Are you kidding me? They're feeling that, like, they want to scream. They're opening up the field, like, no, like, because most adults are afraid to go there. I mean, and families are unafraid to go there,
And we're you're as a collective, like, there's such a muting, like you were saying, going on, being so muted. And then, on top of that, like, kids are also being asked to do that, like, my kids aren't, but like all kids in general, kids are like, also being asked to be muted, and
I mean, it's true, because it's if you really feel it, when we were children, we want to scream, we want to express everything, because in that natural age of our youth and innocence, we went out and it was like screaming, yelling, climbing the tree, throwing things, and it was like we had to get that energy out, because there's such a bubbling level of chi that needs to be expressed. And what's funny, you said, Gia, we're being muted because this is a time of empowerment. We know we're all rising in our empowerment. So how can we find our freedom through our expression that's being kind of limited based on who we are? And yesterday I was seeing meditation, like, wow, if I can just go deeper in my own expression, find that freedom, then I don't have to get so upset of all the limitations that are happening out there. I mean, we have to abide by that. I'll do this when I have to go into a store, but otherwise, where can I express my energy so that I can be fully free and not be limited of what's happening? And I look at the children and I feel for them, because all they want to do is express. I mean,
and they're housed in, and they
right?
can't. It feels awful in their system. And the other part, like on social media, there's a lot we want to express. There's a lot we want to express, like what's happening in this so-called light community. Some of our light worker friends that have turned they're living for such dense consciousness, dark, like literally
so much fear, right? So it's like fear has become this virtue.
That's
like, if you're not in fear, then you're a bad person. Like,
or if you're not supporting the fear-based consciousness, you're no longer a spiritual. What kind of spiritual person were you? Because you're not supporting my fear. Out of my fear, I'm doing this. And why aren't you? Because then they're following the other sheeps that are doing the same thing, and suddenly you are like, what kind of, I thought you were ascended, or I thought you were in higher conscious, so there's all of that happening as well. When you want to express, then it's like, it's like as if you can't express. Willow!
Goodness, look who it is! It's Shamati, honey, and Michael.
Hi, Willow.
Hi, sweetie.
Are you having a hard
time? We'll send some beautiful, loving energy to Willow.
Willow, I miss you. I left your message today. Hi, sweetie.
All right.
Hi,
how you doing there, sweetie? It's good to see you.
I give you a big kiss.
We're sending some beautiful energy through our hands, through our hearts, Willow, so that you can smile and feel happy.
Well, I'm going to bring my unicorn thing here. Okay, put it on for you. Hold on 1 second.
She's going to get the unicorn. And then we're going to bring some happiness. We're going to bring some joy, because you know what? Sometimes we just got to scream and kick and allow all that joy out. As long as we don't direct it at our family, it's all good. Just put it out to the trees.
Wow.
I haven't gotten to that age.
So, Willow, you're such a celebrity. Everybody loves it when you come on. Say hi to everyone. There's lots of people watching. They say that you're awesome and amazing. No.
It's okay. She's with mommy, and then the most important thing is with that. But To follow that up, it's the love that we get to express right now, Gia. I think that's the gift.
Wow.
You want me to bring it over next time I come so you can use it?
She has a unicorn. Look at
You
that.
like it?
I think.
Should I bring it next time? Do you want to wear it?
We can bring the unicorns too.
Okay, if you want.
She's thinking.
If she's
like,
on, she can decide.
Yeah. She's thinking about it. Would you like to do a crystal?
I'll put it for Willow right now.
Okay, that sounds good. So yeah, so a lot of people on here are commenting and saying, Stephanie says, what a wise energy she is. Teach me your ways, Willow, right? That's how I feel, Steph. I just following her.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, am I supposed to be outraged about something right now? Because it seems like it.
There's plenty, isn't it? I mean, really, if you look at it, you know, the flat out children and the energy that's hovered the children on the planet that finally has been exposed. There's quite a bit, you know?
And that innocence.
It's related to that too, and all of the stuff with child trafficking that's coming out now.
No more.
And you know what's beautiful about what Willow shares and what happens when Willow comes on the camera is that innocence touches our hearts. And we know that when we were in that childlike innocence at some point, we were connected in our hearts. And we feel that love, and we want to return back to that innocence. We want to return back to that purity and that state of light, because when we were kids, we got angry, we got upset, someone would push us down, and we get back up, and we'd be like, 3 seconds later, we're playing with the children again. Us adults, you do that, and then all of a sudden we don't talk to them for the next 3 years because you called me that, you called me this. Like, we haven't learned all of these conditions and programs. So the beauty of Willow, of her innocence, shows us that we can come back to our hearts.
Oh, booby.
And we can go.
Yeah, I didn't wear the right shirt for this to happen right now. That's a big color. Let's stretch it.
I told you, Michael, we can have booby energy here. There you go.
There you go.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
No.
Less. By the way,
everything. Smoke for the win.
Remember the video I posted yesterday? Oh my goodness, the West African gospel singing. Yeah, I couldn't stop crying. It's that mother energy that sings, you know?
Yeah, I started crying too when I started watching it.
Bawling. Yeah,
beautiful.
Bawling,
Beautiful.
Bawling. But it is that mother energy, you know, that nurtures and supports, and the mother is returning back to the planet. The mother, the grandmother is coming back, you know, being returned, because, you know, her placement has been sort of like, it's a long story with that one. 4.5 million years ago. But anyway, she's returning.
Well, I feel like the mother energy, you know what it's really doing? I feel like it's also showing us and teaching us how we can nourish ourselves, how we can honor ourselves, because I feel like the mother gave us that power, but I feel like the ability for us to really treat ourselves in a way as the mother would treat us, you know, treat ourselves in that acknowledgement, in that recognition, in that support. And I feel a lot of times, you know, as we grow up, that mother energy is within us, and now it's time for us to live that and to be that without leaning or expecting. I mean, as children, we need that in our support and growth, but right now it is the age where, how can I bring that self-love back into honoring myself, recognizing myself, acknowledging who I am. Even this morning I had tears in my meditation of really going deep, of like, wow, I really need to acknowledge myself and who I am and the voice that I am, because that love and vibration is here to be shared, and it's our responsibility to do that. As children, I feel like when they come in, there's a portion where because they've been in the womb, they are so connected to the divine, they are running around as light beings doing that. But the older we get, sometimes it starts to fade away because we don't have that nourishment, that beautiful motherly and fatherly love that helps support that. And so,
and not to like shame anyone or make anyone feel bad, but I mean, our society and our way of child rearing or child whatever parenting that's been conditioned in us and taught to us, it's like, can we stamp out that spirit and that divineness from our child as quickly as possible? Like, how fast can we like just try to damage their vibration. Like, I feel like that's like the goal of modern parenting.
Really?
It feels like, and medicine and everything we do to them from the second we're pregnant until they're, you know, their whole lives really, but like from the second we're pregnant.
They're like with my children, you know, they're older, Gia. But I tell you, they have come to play. They're unafraid to express, and they sure do express. Like, nope, I'm not gonna listen to that, flat out. No. So for example, I'll tell you, like my youngest one, Nevon, you know, so you know, he's kind of like very impulsive, but you know, there's a lot of Willow and him energy similar. So he decides, he called me, he's like, Mom, I'm getting a tattoo. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, Keon got his tattoo, no problem. So, you know, I was like, okay, look, you get a little here. Yeah, full sleeve down here. And I was like, and I was like, I knew I can't say anything like that because I was like, Nevon, you know, maybe it's a little bit, maybe not. He's like, no, this is what I want, and I want it here now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, what happened?
You didn't want me to be doing work? You want me to start over? You wanted to be here the whole time? I'm so sorry.
You're here now, Willow. Willow. We appreciate it.
I know. There's a lot of that too. Like, she wants to start things over and be there from the beginning. That's like a thing right now. So a couple other people were talking about, oh, thank you, Megan. She called me a feeding ninja. I will accept that term. I have been breastfeeding for 6 years.
When you have a baby on the field, and you're chugging your water and you're holding a conversation, you're multitasking under multidimensional.
You should see me cook and breastfeed.
Getting badass
you can be lifting weights with the legs at the bottom and like, you know, clean, whatever you like.
She's getting so tall. Plus there's a baby in here. I'm bombing so hard right now. Love it though. What a gift, you know, to like have these experiences. I feel like, okay, I did my growth, I need to have another baby. Okay, did my growth, I need a new guru, let me get pregnant again. I need a new guru, let me get pregnant again. Right? You teach me everything? You want the other? You want to start over? Okay, we can start over. Okay, you know what? We're almost. Do you want this milk? Have a little milk and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna come see Willa and Jackson very soon. Yeah, and I bring this over.
You know what? They're gonna come visit us.
Yeah. Yeah. Next week we're gonna come visit again.
Okay. I'm sorry. I love working with you. I mean, you're right. I should have brought you up sooner.
Yeah.
Because you're so much fun to work with. I love working with you.
Yeah.
So a lot of other people have said that their kids have been screaming a lot. When we were talking about it, I'm looking at the comments, and they're like, yeah, my baby who's usually not, now she's not usually quiet, but other people's babies who are usually more subdued or quiet have been screaming and screaming the past 2 weeks. That's so interesting to hear. Like 2 or 3.
But what has been the exposure and the matter with Wayfair, Amazon, you know, Walmart, all of this coming up? They've been part of, you know, trafficking. So, you know. So we can wrap it up, love.
Yeah. This is your day off, and we feel honored, Gia. Thank you so much for taking the time and honoring us for here, because we know that we're all in this together. We're all alchemizing.
And everybody that's on multidimensional living, we're all together with this. And, you know, requires a lot of flexibility. In one of the posts I wrote, this is the time, a lot of flexibility, as much as we can, patience, and higher compassion, but also, you know, communicate the truth of it, you know, not, you know.
Gia, one last thing I would say, the biggest thing I've learned in the past couple of weeks is the clarity of communication.
Right?
And if it couldn't be more clear of what we need to say to each other, just to cut the large amounts of what are being brought forward, it's like, let's just speak from our hearts and our clarity and truth. No more like the exaggeration of it all. Just allow it. So, but we love Willow.
We love you.
We love you so much, and we know we're very thankful for this.
I have more questions, but we'll have you back on.
Don't worry.
You,
Love you.
You do what you need to do as a beautiful mother.
Willow, we love you.
We love you.
Willow, we love you.
We love
Okay,
you.
we talk to you later, sweetie. Okay.
Hang up. Will you guys pop back on after we take a minute so we can start over? No, we're gonna start over right now. Here we go.
Yeah,
Thank
right
you,
now.
Theo, for listening. Thanks for your patience.
Okay.